Hello, folks. Welcome to Scratch the Surface. I'm EJ Scott. Today, my two guests are Taran Killam and Paul Brittain. They were in a movie together called Guntherf, which had Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. But what's cool about Guntherf is that Taran wrote and directed and stars and produced the movie. They were both previous guests. Taran was on a few years ago. Paul was on maybe about a year ago. And they were both on set. They both started on Saturday Night Live together. So we had a really fun talk about making the movie, what it was like to have Arnold Schwarzenegger around. For Taran, what it was like to direct and write and star in this picture, this talkie. Some stories about Saturday Night Live. It was a lot of fun. It was good seeing these guys and catching up about it. It's a good movie. I saw the movie before I interviewed them. You could check it out on iTunes now, which is what I did. I bought it on iTunes. So I highly recommend you check that out. You could probably rent it or buy it. So before I start this, let me just say you can find me on Twitter at EJ Scott, the podcast at EJ Podcast. I'm on Instagram at EJ Scott1106. The podcast is also on there at Scratch the Surface Podcast. I have public Facebook profiles. EJScott.com is my website. I am losing my eyesight to an eye disease called choroideremia, and it runs in my family. In 2012, I ran 12 marathons in 12 states in 12 months, blindfolded, and was able to get a documentary made about it. It's about 30 minutes long, and it's called Running Blind. So when you go and look for Killing Gunther, go look for Running Blind. It's on iTunes, and it's only $2 or $3 to rent it or buy it. So it's a nice double feature there. If you check those two movies out, you'll be glad you did. And I think that's about it. You can subscribe to Scratch the Surface now on iHeartRadio and on iTunes. So there you go. I'm sorry this podcast is now it's kind of old. It's a couple months old. But I've been raising puppies. I adopted a couple of puppies from Puerto Rico after the hurricane hit. I adopted a couple puppies and been fully concentrated on them to the point of sometimes I forget to shower for a week or just stuff like that, or forget to just take care of myself, and so stuff like this ends up taking a little bit of a backseat, but they're getting better and older and more behaved, so I'm hoping I can do some more of this podcasting, which I love doing. And so this is from November 8th, 2017. Please enjoy my talk with Taran Killam and Paul Brittain.
Do you like comic books?
Me? Oh, yeah. Oh, you want to talk about the big news that hit today?
Which one is that?
Well, all right, I'll start the podcast right.
Great.
Hello, Paul and Taran.
Hello. Oh, hey, EJ, how are you? Too loud. Oh, you went for it.
Loud.
You went
too
for
loud.
it.
I appreciate the effort, though, Paul. Thank you very much.
It's like the old THX. You know what I mean? You have to test the limits on the sound system.
Yep.
So you guys,
and then you can enjoy the flick.
Uh-huh.
You guys are pros. You're miking your
down?
penis.
I didn't know if this was a choice. I never like to presume about another man's mic.
Thanks for being here. You both have been on here before, and now you're on here together.
Look at that. Is it both of our second time?
Both your second time.
That's cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. Thank you so much for being here.
Right on.
Thank you for having us.
We were just about to talk comic books because you asked me if I like
facetiously,
comic books.
yes.
I do love comic books.
Yes.
I'm never up to date, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But why did you ask me that?
I was being facetious. Your house is littered with comic book paraphernalia.
It was a giveaway.
But today there was big news, comic book news announced, because you're a comic book guy.
I am, yeah.
Comic books.
Yes.
Which is the Brian Michael Bendis going over to DC Comics.
Yes, I did see something about that. Yeah.
Huge. Exclusive.
Crazy.
Multi-year for DC.
Wow.
He's never written a DC thing ever.
How's about that?
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I mean, it doesn't feel as sacrilegious as it would in the film world, right?
Yeah.
And from the conversations that I've had with writers and illustrators and stuff, comic book fans and creators consume all titles.
Mm-hmm.
There doesn't seem to be as vicious an us versus them has been my experience.
Right.
In the cinematic universe, is a little different. Hollywood's a little more competitive in nature, and
Even in its own company.
Exactly. Yeah.
Paul, your thoughts on the big?
I got
move
nothing.
from
I
Brian
don't know.
Bendis?
I don't know what you guys are talking.
What are your thoughts? What do you think he'll write first? Justice League, The
BMB,
Flash,
where's he going?
Batman.
A Hawkman? Is he going to take over Hawkman?
Hawkman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
You could have been just feeding me made up comic book
Flip-flop
superheroes.
man.
The Lampinator? Is the Lampinator going to be his title?
I think he's going to go Lampinator.
He's got to go.
I think he's going to go
Wonder Twins?
He's going to go
BMB
Shoe Man.
Shoe Man?
That's a good
I feel like
call.
Shumak could be like some
Shumak?
sort of mystical kind of superhero. Anyway, I'll take you out after this and we'll pitch on it.
Did you ever read
Fantastic.
a comic before? Have you, when you were a
I
kid?
mean, no. I don't think I ever bought a comic book when I was a kid.
No. What were you into when you were a kid?
Baseball cards. Football cards. as a
Those are
kid.
worth a lot now.
Yeah, I think no, I think they're
They're
not.
not, right?
No.
It crashed. The market sort of crashed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you're like 60 years old and you had cards from those days, but
Yeah.
if you're like our age, they're barely worth
And
the
they
paper.
Have to,
It's all
print
digital
inks
now.
and all that stuff.
Yeah, digital.
Right?
Yeah.
I think there was just like they were so prevalent, they're not rare at all.
Right.
Whereas
Interesting.
back in the day, they didn't make as many, and people threw them away. So
Right.
But a Babe Ruth rookie is still
Oh,
worth
yeah.
something.
right,
Got it.
Probably.
there's
A
probably,
Ken Griffey Jr. rookie still worth something?
I mean,
Those handful of.
I'm totally
Special
guessing
cards.
right now. $50.
Deal.
Okay.
I have 40 of them.
I've got them.
I'll chip in 10.
I have 40.
I'll chip in
Yeah,
10.
right.
I'll chip in 10.
$50 a piece.
I mean, maybe.
You heard it here.
I could be totally wrong on that. Yeah, I will pay $2,000 for all of your Ken Griffey Juniors.
I was selling baseball cards a few years ago, and I had hundreds of them in like binders.
Yeah.
Binders full of baseball players.
And they weren't I think they were my brothers or something. I think
You stole your brother's baseball cards and
might
tried
have.
to sell them.
I might
Okay.
have. And I got nothing for them.
Oh yeah.
I got almost nothing for them.
Yeah.
You
That's a
like
bummer.
Did you
You
go
did.
to a store,
No,
a shop?
eBay.
On eBay, okay.
On a store, don't even bother going to a store. They won't even.
What were the price guides that you could buy?
Beckett.
Yes. I remember that.
Beckett monthly.
Yeah. And Topps kind of had their own collective price guide, I feel, too.
Probably.
Yeah. I used to be really into it. I was true and very quick story, I promise you.
No.
Into collecting baseball cards. Went with my friend Danny Thompson and
Good guy.
until we were buying baseball cards from the little baseball card store near Liquor Junction, and he runs out of cash. He's like, "Oh, I wanted to get one more. We'll call it Fleer. Is Fleer one? Yeah." And I go, okay, here's $1. He opens it up and he gets this like weird Red Sox like triple player card, and it's like Stan Musial and Yastrzemski maybe, and
Like Red Sox greats. or
Yeah,
something, like
exactly.
old former players.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the guy who owns the he's like, oh, I haven't seen one of those before. And he like kind of casually flips and looks at the price. He's like, yeah, I don't even see it listed. Oh, well, I'll give you $50 for it. Danny Thompson says no.
Yeah.
We get like an official thing, and we really look it up ourselves.
Yeah.
Out of the package worth $250.
Whoa, yeah.
We bike back to Danny Thompson's house, and cackling, he hands me $1, and he goes, "Thanks.
Oh,
Here's your $1."
burned.
Didn't even consider sharing.
Giving you- ripping the card in half.
It was literally the Bart Simpson Millhouse
Yeah.
episode of Radioactive Man.
Yeah.
How is
Danny
that-
Thompson wrote that episode.
He did. He changed his name to Matt Groening.
How has that affected your life?
Every day.
Since
Every
then?
day since.
Well, in terms of budgeting things, I know I'm always settling $250 shy of where I possibly could have been.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know what I mean? That's a
Better.
video game console.
Yeah, you could be in a different house right now.
Yeah.
What I love about that story is the the unscrupulousness of the baseball card
40-year-old
shop
man.
owner, just working over children on a daily basis. Like, that's his job.
Yeah, business didn't last
That's
long
his fucking
either.
job. And there was one in my town, and it was this. I mean, he was a straight up. He was like a character actor, had been thrown in there to run the baseball card store, which was maybe a front for the mafia. Who knows? But
Yeah.
his name was Ernie, just a fat guy smoking cigarettes or a cigar, maybe bald. He would answer the phone. Just baseball cards, and same type of thing. He was certainly ripping off 8-year-old children all day long, every day, and
Smart. When you have an upper hand.
it's not even in here. I'll give you $50.
The art of war, man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Divide and
They're all pawn
conquer,
shops.
and also prey on
Yeah.
the weak and small
Such a
and young
racket. Yeah.
baseball card collectors.
Well, comic book stores too. I mean, they're all
yeah.
basically pawn shops. You know,
Right.
you could bring something that's worth $100 into a golden apple, and you might get 20.
Sure,
for
right.
it,
Yeah.
if you're lucky. That's why eBay's so popular now. You know. What
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean? Thank you both for being here. I invited Ryan Gall as well.
Yeah.
Oh God, that guy.
But he's
He's not here.
a bust up.
He's not here.
He's a scrub.
I'm fuming.
The boy's a scrub.
I'm steam coming out of my eyes.
I thought he was going to, because when I wrote to him, I said, this day and time, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you
Yeah.
think? He's
Yeah.
like, oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That sounds like an agreement to
Right?
appear.
I feel like-
sounds like an agreement to appear.
And I feel like he was a determiner of said date and time. Like
Yeah.
we had to, you had to vet
Right.
his calendar.
Everyone needs to fit it into
Dependent.
Gall's
Yeah,
schedule.
exactly. And
Yeah, this was all started because of him.
anyway,
And then he wrote me today and said he can't make it, or yesterday.
yeah,
He's working, apparently.
Let's kidnap him and beat him up.
yeah.
Put him in a
bully him.
bag.
Let's
Sounds like a movie.
Put him in a bag.
Roughing
and
up Gall,
But the idea
a musical movie. Roughing up Gall.
The idea for me to invite all you guys on was, one, because I know all you guys a
Yeah.
little bit, and you all just did a movie together called Killing Gunther,
Yes,
which
Yeah.
Taran, you wrote and directed and produced
Correct.
and starred in, and everything else.
all of these hats. Yeah, yeah,
So I thought it'd be fun to have all you guys here talking about
Totally.
the
Yeah.
movie and stuff.
yeah. I had a very good time.
I had a blast.
All right, you don't have to say that because I'm here.
I'll if
What would Ryan say if he was here?
he would say the movie was all about him. This thing wouldn't have gotten off the ground if not for Ryan's part as barreled.
All true.
If I decide by the end of this interview that I had a terrible time making the movie,
Yeah.
I'll
You
come
chime in,
clean.
you promise?
I'll come
Great.
clean.
Great.
At any point.
That's all I ask.
You got about an hour.
That's all I ask. It was very fun.
a blast.
On my end of things, it was a lot of work. It was very challenging.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It was very encompassing and ultimately fulfilling. And I'm very proud of it. And I kind of can't believe that it happened because I was able to write and direct a significant project and hire people that I just enjoy personally and that I like.
Your buddies.
My buddies that genuinely make me laugh, and I believe in their talent, but also are just people who in my free time I prefer to be around.
Yeah.
And production, shooting it was fair, probably like an acceptable amount of chaos, a predictable amount of chaos, right?
I
Like,
mean, it was probably way more chaos on your end having
Sure.
to deal with 50 million different things,
Right.
and be in charge of everything.
What kind of cast
For-
do you mean? I'm sorry, go ahead.
For us just acting the movie, it was like real fun summer camp, nonstop
yeah.
Yeah.
party almost. Like
Yeah.
get to go shoot some very funny and fun scenes,
Improvise
and just
a little,
improvise,
even.
goof around with friends, and then just hang out with fun people all day, every day. So
That sounds fun.
I didn't have to deal with any chaos. I just got to have a great time, and
Yeah.
Taran had to be in charge of everything and worry and be responsible for getting things done.
Yeah, and it's more the before and after. I felt like we worked really hard in prep, and that production itself was fairly turbulentless. Outside of the this thing's taking longer, or that prop didn't perform properly, or what, you know what I mean? But the actual shooting of it was very enjoyable. And I would say like the most stressed, there were like some locations moments, and then really just technical things, because it's, there's some legitimate action set pieces in this film.
Right.
So there was like, prep and resetting, and sometimes failure to execute on certain stunt or special effect-y kind of things. But like our practical effects team was phenomenal. We actually blew up 8 cars, and they were it was incredible. They were so good. They were so efficient. They reset them. They said like 30 minutes, and we did it. I think we only did it twice with the explosions.
Yeah.
But they did it in under 30 minutes each time. They were phenomenal. It was the guys who Big Dave did Smallville for years. Oh, yeah. So any of their practical effects stuff, their team was just amazing. We were really lucky to get them.
Yeah.
And then the stress, like where I felt most stressed was anticipating Arnold Schwarzenegger, who plays the villain in the movies, arrival. Yeah. Just anticipating the arrival and just making sure every T was crossed, every I dotted, and that we didn't embarrass him or
right.
seem like amateurs.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, how many days did he have on the set? And now I'll explain.
Sure.
It's an action comedy set in documentary style.
Yeah.
About a bunch of assassins and stuff, and all these assassins are trying to kill one assassin, being Schwarzenegger.
Correct.
So how many days did it take to film the whole thing?
He worked 7. He ended up working 7. And I think we ended up with 21 days, something like that.
Okay, so he worked a third of those days, and I assume it was all in 1 week.
Yes. Exactly. Time, right. I think he stayed for a weekend. I think we may have had him on like his last day was a Monday or Tuesday. Maybe. I don't remember.
Did he get his required $20 million?
He got his required, what he says is required. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. It changed, and that was it worth 2 of every penny. Truly, because before the business of it, before we even released here in the U.S., we'd pretty much broken even already with pre-sales and stuff like that. So we didn't lose anybody any money, which feels great before your movie even debuts.
Can I ask what the budget was?
Yeah, it was ended up being about 7, a little over 7.
Yeah.
And a big part of that is above the line fees.
Okay.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about that is that there's this thing called tiers, right? So a tier 1, tier 2, and I forget because we worked in Canada. In Canada, tier 1 is the cheapest, and then in the US, tier 3 is the cheapest, or something like that. Like they're inversed. They flip. But as soon as you pass a certain budget line, so if you have a significant salary, you're in a new tier, and now everybody's salary and minimum due increases as well. So it balloons and inflates. Exactly. So your below the line practical budget for location and shooting the movie is always locked in at a certain fee, and then you have to find the financing to facilitate, or that's not the word I'm looking for, but
when you wrote it, did you have Schwarzenegger in mind?
No. I started writing it, I think my second season of SNL, and always pictured doing a very low budget. Like I was going to write to my creativity's intelligence, to the height of that and what I foresee, and then pare it down to do it as cheaply and quickly as possible, knowing I wanted to mostly just cast friends and people that I knew and liked. And then doing SNL, you have contacts, and the role of Gunther was always kind of written as this surprise reveal at the end of it, kind of like a Kaiser Soze, but sort of boogeyman. Too soon. Yeah. The character, you can't separate the person from the work. That's a debate to get into. And we'd reached out to a different actor, and that actor's agent is also Arnold's agent, and so they pitched Arnold to us, and it was like, yes, please.
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Did you have to do any rewrites because of
a little bit? Casting? Yeah, and tried to. I would say the thing that suffered, I felt, or that I have the biggest regret about is that I wasn't constantly focusing on the writing, the day of punch-ups. That I think if you had an independent writer there focusing just on story and just on heightening individual moments and connective tissue throughout the structure, that got the least amount of my attention. The most was directing, second most was performing in the film, and then writing. Right. But once it was him and leading up to shooting, there was a lot of rewriting.
Okay. What was it like for you, Paul? I mean, I could see all the stress on Taran's back. I mean, having to do everything, all the responsibility, plus having a huge star like Schwarzenegger, and who knows how he's going to be, if he'll show up, if he'll do what you ask him to do. Like, he can literally do anything he wants.
True,
right?
yeah. True.
Were you nervous to even work with or meet Schwarzenegger?
I actually didn't end up in many. I think maybe one scene actually, just because of the way that the movie is.
Yeah, aren't you all together
structured.
at one point? Like when he first was revealed, you're all in the same room. Right?
Yes, or outside. Yes.
Yeah.
You've seen it.
Yeah. I saw it last night.
He doesn't. Spoiler alert: he doesn't make it to the reveal.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But the hotel, his first day, we were all there together.
Yeah. So I mean, I met him and everything, and it is like, the best kind of warm up for that kind of situation is having worked at Saturday Night Live, where
that's true.
Within like a few weeks, you go from your crappy apartment in Chicago and like scraping by teaching improv.
This is
then
pretty specific to you.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No, it's a royal you.
Well, the experience of working on Saturday Night Live, and then like 3 weeks later, you're pitching sketches to Jim Carrey or Robert De Niro. So Paul McCartney. So at SNL you get used to being around like the biggest celebrities of all time pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But even that said, like, something about Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's such it's like larger than life, even more than like the most famous actor. He's like a person version of a superhero, like action star.
Yeah, no kidding. He was a governor.
Mm-hmm.
He's
on top of it.
He's an icon.
An Olympian,
and he's all muscle, so he's still really intimidating, even at 65 or 70 or whatever.
A bunch of years older than us, and amazingly could still just flatten anybody. Yeah. Taran actually, before Schwarzenegger, offered it to Governor Jerry Brown.
Yeah,
really?
I knew I wanted it to be a former governor, and I just felt I maybe aimed low. I don't know.
Okay.
Reagan was gone, so that was off the table.
Sure.
Yeah.
What's meant to be is meant to be, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
This worked out.
I pictured Gunther having white hair, so that was the only disappointment.
Jesse Ventura, maybe that would have been
right. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he was next.
Oh wow, yeah,
yeah.
That is kind of loco that the two of them from Predator have been governors.
Yeah. Carl Weathers would have, but
exactly. Where's their Governor Shane Black when you need him?
Yeah.
So, and Taran, you did a movie before that you wrote or co-wrote and starred in called Brother Nature.
Yes, with Bobby Moynihan,
who you keep using.
Yeah, I like Bobby.
I'll
stick with Bobby.
Using Bobby. Do you like him? He's all right.
He and I share many interests. He's one of the kindest, most thoughtful people I know. He is absolutely, hands down, one of the funniest. Mm-hmm. And that's the combination I look for friends is
that's a lot.
Is actually nice and funny in that order.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like that's a nice, decent human being with integrity, and then funny helps too.
Well, it's a great cast. Hannah Simone, I love her.
Yeah, me too.
Girl.
Yeah, she's wonderful. Allison Tolman.
From Fargo. I love her.
Yeah, so great. And then Amir Talai, Aaron Yu, my wife. I love. Thank you. So no, I was spoiled as a first time director, certainly.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Did you learn a lot from the first movie to the second one? Nothing.
Every project a ton.
Because you didn't direct the first one. So
No.
something in you was like, I could do this now. I could direct.
I'd just been sort of shopping Gunther around for so long and trying to get it financed that no one had kind of lived with it for as long as I had, and nobody. I felt I saw it pretty clearly in my head.
Sure.
And then partnered with a company that was willing to take a chance on me, which I'm forever grateful for. And Brother Nature was interesting. It was another very, very fun shoot. We didn't have great producers, we just there wasn't really a producer through Lauren's company. So it just felt like an extension of the show, where you're kind of on your own. And so that was the biggest sort of, lesson to learn on that one in terms of the value of a producer, of somebody looking out for just sort of the dollars and cents of it all and the logistics, but then also caring for and protecting the production itself, right? Of making sure people are arriving on time and being there, and that people have what they need. And we were very lucky on Gunther because we had a gentleman by the name of Steve Squilante who was literally like my Clarence Angel from It's a Wonderful Life, who looked after me and took care of me and took care of the cast, and is just a good dude, and is still basically like taking care of the, because there's all these sort of tax rebates and paperwork, and even though a movie's out in the world, the job of the producer is not necessarily done. So still to this day, it's sort of driving him crazy. But that was a big lesson. I just was involved in every aspect of Gunther. The amount learned on this film versus Brother Nature, which was a rewrite Mikey and I did, and then performing in it, both things that had some experience with, some familiarity, writing and performing. This was a whole new task of directing and of being an actual producer from soup to nuts. It was just, the knowledge was vast.
Did you regret taking on so much?
No, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. Yeah.
Do you think you will?
Yeah,
Are you writing
I will.
something now?
I am. Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to do this again. Here we go.
Yes.
Maybe Killing Gunther Part 2.
Maybe it is definitely not.
Okay.
But no, because another odd thing about this experience was embracing, because I'm such a fan of it, the mockumentary style or the documentary parody style. It's a format that I love, and I think comedy fans really love, but it isn't, I have learned, a bona fide success genre. You know what I mean? That it just in its nature is niche.
Yeah. There's only a few, like Reno 911.
Right.
Christopher Guest's movies.
Exactly.
That's
what we do in the shadows.
Oh,
yeah. But no, only a handful, and I'd never seen this genre of sort of action adventure of like assassin actiony done in that ludicrous format, and that made me laugh. So I'm excited for the next one to be a little bit more traditional, because as a first time director to be like, no, we're not going to do coverage. No, we want it to look bad. No, it's supposed to be shaky and mistakes are okay. I'm sure feels wrong to a lot of professionals who know what they're doing. But one of the biggest compliments that is still happening is a lot of our crew, I think, also enjoyed themselves on the shoot and felt heard and communicated with and taken care of and enjoyed what they were doing. And my wife is from Vancouver, so we go back and I'll run into crew and they still say like that was one of their favorite things to work on.
Oh, that's nice.
Which is really great. Yeah.
That's nice. Do you have behind the scenes?
We have I think like that blooper reel that we showed at the wrap party is going to be included with the Blu-ray. I don't know if it's on the digital downloads.
I rented it on iTunes last night. It wasn't available to buy yet. Yeah. So there's no features yet.
Yeah, right. So maybe it will be once that becomes available. Yeah.
One thing I was going to say regarding what Taran was saying, like the kind of mockumentary, faux documentary style, paired with it being like an action comedy, ends up being like there isn't really anything else like that movie. Yeah. I think that's what's so unique and cool and amazing, and because same biggest fan of like Christopher Guest movies and everything like that.
Best.
he hasn't made an assassin comedy though. However, so when Taran's talking about, when you were asking about, when did you decide you wanted to direct it as well, and the fact that Taran said he kind of had lived with it the longest and could kind of see how he wanted it done. That's like being on the set and also watching it, the thing that I like marvel at the most, and that's so crazy, knowing this guy for a bunch of years and knowing all of his talents and everything, but because it's like a mockumentary and it's kind of just one Steadicam operator for most of it, Taran like choreographed every one of these action sequences, and we couldn't make the movie if he was like doing that on the fly once we got on the set and like, oh, maybe we'll do this and let's see how that looks. Like, there's no time to make a whole movie if you were trying to figure that out.
Right.
So Taran had it all in his mind, kind of ahead of time, and could just tell the camera operator, okay, here's this crazy scene where like this guy's gonna get shot in the head right here, and then the camera needs to whip around for this line from this person, and then we shoot and we see Gunther out there, over there, and then the gun fight starts, and like all these crazy sequences that like he really had seen in his head ahead of time and choreographed all that, and that was kind of thing that was like just like, holy crap, how did you
Thanks, buddy.
manage to have all this stuff figured out ahead of time? So.
Were you inspired by him to? Oh, maybe I'll do something like that. I'll write and direct and produce. And
I
star.
am making an assassin mockumentary action comedy.
It's never been done.
What? Wait, hold on. Too close. That's just a ripoff.
Yeah, no.
But you'll play the tech guy.
Yeah, happily.
Yeah.
Gladly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd watch it.
Paul is my favorite performance character in the whole movie. Oh, every line. Every line. From literally his first line, me and Adam Epstein, the editor of the film, every time it came to like his introduction, his little like breath of, hi, my name is Gabe Beals. Everything, there's some really great. There's a great moment where as he's explaining how good he is with machines, he loses $1 in a vending machine that we had to cut out. It's pretty great, and then gets caught, and then kind of notices. Right. Always makes me laugh.
That is funny.
Always.
I like that you're like yelling at him on one scene. It's like, Gabe, later.
Yeah.
I'm doing this right now. Gabe, forget
He interrupted me. Yeah.
Yeah, real fun, real good times playing a complete dipwad. Where, I mean, it's just nice. Like your only responsibility is to just suck and like mess everything up. Just get in everyone's way. Can't do what you're supposed to do. Just find new ways to just be bad at everything. So it's just so fun to play that.
Would you do like, I assume all the lines were scripted, but then there was room for improv? Would you go like, all right, let's do the scripted first, and then we could play around with it if there's time?
Yeah, where it was more important to stick to the script was sort of the action. Like that's what I would have loved and intended to write it as just a sort of 20-page outline and be a little bit looser and have people develop characters and stuff. But as you are, shooting prop guns and blowing up cars and having special effects painted in, you just kind of need to have a working script.
Right. You got to show something to Schwarzenegger.
You got to show Schwarzenegger. You can't just send him a Word document. Yeah. And then there would be setups if we had time. But that's the thing, is that the movie, because it is sort of cat and mouse, there is a trajectory, right? There's a thrust that needs to be met, because we had many setups where we would just improvise about what you're doing in this space right now, or just get to know this character and talk to them. We have a ton of that footage, but none of it was moving the story forward, and you feel that. It was the biggest lesson of why assassin, heightened, henchman, hitmen, superhero kind of spy agents don't necessarily fold perfectly into a mockumentary format.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you saw Thor the other night?
I saw it.
You mentioned
Thursday night. Yeah.
What We See in the Shadows. Is that
What
it's
We
called?
Do, yeah.
What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
Who's directed by the same guy.
Taika Waititi, yeah.
Would you? So he went from like small movies, like Hunt
Yeah.
for the Wilder People.
Hunt for the Wilder People, Eagle vs. Shark, Boy.
Tiny movies.
Yeah.
And now he's jumped onto like a $250 million
Totally.
franchise.
Yeah.
Would you do something like that if somebody came to you?
Yeah, I would love to tackle something a little more grand. I want to get a few more under my belt of particularly in the sort of more traditional narrative not breaking the fourth wall kind of set. Because in our movie, the camera is a character, but I would love to do a more standard structure film or several before feeling emboldened to take on something like that, feeling the confidence to. But that's what I love. I love escapism. I love grand adventure heroes versus bad guys. That's my wheelhouse as a fan.
Schwarzenegger he was there for a week. Do you guys have like funny stories or anything? I know he's whenever I see him interviewed or something, he always talks in his own catchphrases sometimes, which one of them even ended up in the movie.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was intended or if he did it on the fly or what happened.
In the rewrite before he came, I tried to sneak in the "Do it, I'm right here, kill me" from Predator, and of course he picked it right away. I went to his hotel room in Vancouver. He's like, "I love that you put that. Let's do more." And I was like, oh, okay, great. And there are absolutely some we didn't like include because it just became like a hit parade. As it is, there's still like a good amount. He's like, that guy's gonna get terminated.
Yeah.
And I do it. He got to the chopper.
Yeah.
And he does like a deep cut Blade Runner. Running Man, sorry. Rip your heart out of your chest and eat it, and break your goddamn spine before you even know you're dead. It's from Running
It's
Man.
not the tumor.
Yeah, we didn't get that. We did shoot that. It just got very sad. It got very sad, even though it had a happy ending. There's something about the world's greatest
Vincent, I'm
assassin
your
being
brother.
in remission that just didn't procure the laughs we were hoping for.
Right.
Oh my god! Did everybody just do Arnold Schwarzenegger voices on the set? Maybe not when
in
he's
prep and like scouting and stuff. Yeah, but then I worked really hard to not do it because I was like, that doesn't seem couth.
Right.
And it came out once dealing with his sort of photo double, Dieter. I was like, just so you know, when he comes in, he's going to turn here, and that's what he'll be like, I'll get you, get out of the kitchen. He's like, no unsolicited Arnold impressions. And
Was he joking around, or was he like,
kind of yeah, kind of joking? But I think also like he pointed it out because
it is what he does.
That's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing. I'm sure that happens, that occurs. But he was great. Arnold was a gentleman, a professional, kind to everybody. It was a pleasure. True.
Yeah,
true.
I've always heard great things.
Yeah,
about
he's
him
a
on
pro.
the set. He's like knows everyone's names. Very charismatic on the set. And
Yes.
enjoys being there. And therefore, everybody else is enjoying their time too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How are you as a director, Taran? Are you like
Bad?
Yeah, are you bad? No, are you like how's your temperament? Are you trying to make everybody have a good time, or are you like, look, guys, we have a schedule. It's let's focus up. Over here, guys.
I think I'm pretty good. I definitely was squeamish, right? That's the thing. Working with your friends, it's very personal, right? And so you don't want to. I don't want to come across as unappreciative or patronizing or critical. So I feel like I got better with that as it went along, of saying, no, this is what we want, or let's do it again, or this is communicating what we didn't get in the last take that I'd like to. I think I did a very good job communicating interdepartmentally, like between grips and the sound department and camera department. I think I did a very good job. I was proud of myself, and it felt like a good fit.
Cool.
But I think I just need to get more reps into. I could feel that of like,
No more
now that I know this, and next time in prep I would, I'd plan ahead for this, and again, as much as I was the director and this is a film, I still didn't have the experience of let's shoot the master, let's do cross coverage, let's match continuity. There are a lot of big aspects that I was conscious of having worked in the industry anyway, that I understand and can conceive of those, but I was trying to do something in a very different way. So as much as it was my first film, it also felt like not a complete attempt at just as I've said, a traditional feature film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you watch the documentary on HBO about Spielberg?
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
It's very good.
I saw it. Yeah. I want to watch it again. Yeah, it's great.
He was in his early work. Jaws is going to shit. I mean, he goes like 4 or 5 times over budget.
Yeah.
Like, time-wise and money-wise and everything.
Yeah.
But somebody told him, I forget who it was, but he got like the advice of like, no matter how freaked out you're getting, don't show it.
Yeah.
Don't let them see you.
Yeah,
sweat.
sure.
Right.
Just go in with the confidence. You're the leader. You're the leader. You have to actually at least pretend to be confident.
Yeah. I also just had an overwhelming sense of gratitude and excitement that I was being allowed to do this. So that kept me pretty. I'm a fairly positive person anyway, but that kept me up and motivated and energized through the shoot. So there's only one time where I had to get tense with anybody, but that was like a long time coming. So
Ryan Gall.
Yeah, Ryan Gall, and that explains why he's not here today.
Yeah.
Can you explain? Can you talk about what that little attention thing was?
Nah, I won't.
Too specific.
I won't.
But,
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Ryan Gall. Since I last saw you, Taran, you did a run on Hamilton.
Yeah. Yeah.
How fucking cool is that?
It was really cool.
You got to play the king.
I played King George III of England. Yeah.
Was it right after Ben?
I don't know who Ben is.
Ben Platt, no?
No, he never played King George.
Oh, shit. Okay,
he plays Dear Evan Hansen.
No, I know. I thought he did King George. Who did you replace?
I replaced Rory O'Malley, who's doing it here in L.A. Oh. He left the production to do the touring company, and they went straight to San Francisco. He took a break and then went to San Francisco. Oh, and then he took over for Jonathan Groff.
Okay.
All right, that's not ringing a bell for you.
No,
but,
it's not. What did Ben do beforehand? I for some reason thought
Ben was in Book of Mormon.
Oh, he was? Okay.
Yeah, he played in Chicago. I think he was Elder Cunningham, and then I don't know which role he played, but he did it in Chicago, and then they brought him to New York, and then Dear Evan Hansen is his. How'd you get
Hamilton?
I was friends with Tommy and Lynn, and was aware of their development process, and they even invited me to see rehearsals and knew that it was coming, and then invited Kobe and I to see it at the Public before it went to Broadway. And we were both out of town and working, and then finally saw it closing night at the Public and were blown away. And then when it was determined I wasn't going to be coming back to SNL, Tommy reached out. Tommy's the director, Tommy Kail, reached out and said, I have to find a new king. Is that something you would consider doing? And I said, yeah, absolutely.
Did you ever do musical theater before?
I did, all through my childhood, but then went to college for musical theater for a year. UCLA as a musical theater major, and then left to do funny, dumb stuff.
Did you have a great voice?
Thank you.
And what happens, because you're on stage, I think it's 9 minutes altogether?
Yeah, like of actual king time, it depending on how much the audience likes you, hovers around 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you do backstage when you're waiting for your scenes, in between?
I started the show in January, and then left in April. We wrapped post on Gunther a week after I was on the show. So a lot of my backstage time was like approving visual effects shots and photoshopping things and giving notes and listening to sound cues, and it was all I tried to multitasking for sure. And then once things were a little more locked in, the last, I'll say 4 to 5 weeks that I was there for 16 weeks. I started to really kind of like want to soak it in. So people in the production said I was the most social king because I would go walk over to the other wing and see what understudies were up to and talk to people and explore the space and just absorb and appreciate that opportunity.
Social king.
Yeah.
I assume you saw him, Paul? Did you see him?
I didn't get a chance to get out to New York. No, unfortunately.
Missed out.
Yeah.
Well, my girlfriend bought me a ticket to Hamilton.
Yeah.
For like a birthday or something.
Cool.
And I was excited to go. And
Yes.
I tweeted about going to see you.
Yeah.
And I went and I had third or fourth seat center.
Yeah.
Orchestra.
wow.
So excited. And like a good boy, I turned off my phone before the show started. And I saw the show. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then right after the show, I leave and I go like on the subway, turn my phone back on, and I saw that you wrote to me, Taran.
Yeah.
And you invited me backstage.
Yeah.
Right after I had left.
Yeah.
Oh, darn.
And I was so mad that I missed that opportunity.
I'm sorry.
But I appreciate
also-
the invite.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
It was nice of you.
Yeah, my pleasure. That's right. I'd actually forgotten that happened. It's tricky
I will
because it's
never
also
forget.
okay. Great.
I will never forget.
That's all right. Let it go. It's fine. It's just a bunch of ropes. Yeah. No. You kind of have to because I will say that there is a lot of absolutely more than being on SNL. People came out of the woodworks for Hamilton asking for tickets.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
for
really?
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a hot item.
It still is. Still a hot item.
Yeah, for sure. It's such a great show.
Have you seen it out here in LA?
I have. Yeah.
How many times? Just once?
Just once. Went to the opening.
How many times have you seen it not being in it altogether?
Not being in it. Sitting in the audience.
Sitting in the audience. Paid ticket or ticket ticket?
Yeah, I think 10 or 11 times, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. I had seen it 4 times before I was brought into the show. And then the week before I went in, I was going pretty regularly. So that helped my quota. And then once here. So I think it might be 11. It could be.
There's a lot.
It's not bad.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Paul, how many times have you seen it altogether?
I haven't seen
What a
it.
freaking
At all?
What a
Not
freaking
even
bird.
without him?
I haven't
really-
seen it.
It's out here in LA now.
I know now it's in
Taking it
LA.
out on you.
Are you trying
I-
not to see it? Are you like...
I'm not trying not to see it.
know people that are-
I'll
Do you
admit
hate
you're
art?
grilling me
Do you hate
on
art?
it. No, I do want to see it, but I'll admit I don't see a lot of musical theater. I don't.
Do you hate feeling?
Did you hate feeling?
I hate feeling. I do want to see it,
Yeah.
so I will have to see it out here in LA. Yeah,
How's your singing voice?
not great. Not untrained, all over the place.
Raw.
You might find me like exactly 4 beers in at karaoke, and somehow it's working just right. But
Yeah.
that's
What do you
just
sing?
very sporadic.
What are you singing at karaoke? What's your go?
I go with a lot of David Bowie.
Beautiful.
That's in my register, I think. Enough.
David Bowie. Right? Like that? So I'm an impressionist too. I
Sure.
think
That's it.
Yeah.
That was it.
David Bowie
Yeah.
meets Katharine Hepburn.
It was towards the end of it.
Yeah. Got it. Okay.
So when you left Saturday Night Live, you did a funny video of almost like a sports inspired video
Yeah.
of like, well, I had a good run, and you were taking down like Polaroids off the wall, right, of all your characters, I think.
No, I was given a Polaroid camera as like a season premiere gift, my second or third year, and I started a ritual of taking 10 Polaroids per Saturday. So a live show tape night, I'd take 10 Polaroids throughout the studio of people or props or things
Yeah.
or costumes. So that's what I was taking.
Kidding.
Yeah,
What have you done with those pictures?
they're in a shoebox.
Have you
in
thought
my
about
closet.
doing something? Like you could make a book out of that or something.
Whoa! All right.
No, you don't think so?
Cool.
No good?
Maybe. No, maybe.
I'd be interested in looking at those.
Yeah.
For sure.
It feels like a headache to clear all of that.
Oh yeah.
I didn't say it wasn't a headache.
Oh, okay. Reading gives me a headache, so I guess
Blur
mostly
out
pictures.
everybody's face on every single picture.
great.
I guess that's what you'd have to
Problem
do. You'd have to
solved.
get everybody's-
Everyone's buying that.
I don't know how it works, but make me an offer.
$10?
No, very poor offer. Very, very. It's almost an insultingly low entry.
Yeah. EJ
into this
runs
negotiation.
EJ runs a Polaroid photos store, and he just rips off kids all day long.
Bring it back.
I'll give you $10 for your hundreds of photos of top celebs.
But have them signed. Have them all signed. Give them all signed too. That's so funny. So how were you when you didn't get re-signed to SNL? Were you okay? Did you feel?
I was, yeah. I would.
6 years. That's a good run.
Not a bad run, and it's as Paul can attest, it's a draining process.
Yeah. You guys started the same week, right?
Correct.
Whatever, 9 years
Episode.
ago now? 10 years ago now?
We'll say 7
years
and change. Yeah.
Is it 7 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
7 in a few months. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you miss most about it, or do you miss anything?
The people. Yeah, I miss the crew. I miss the cast, the writers.
Taking Polaroids.
I miss Polaroid wall space. That I was so fortunate and lucky to work with so many great people, and the people that I enjoyed working with the most I've stayed in contact with. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to? Your wife, Kobe.
Yeah.
How many kids do you have now?
2,
How old are they?
8 and almost 3.
8 and almost 3. Did you have the 3-year-old when you did this show? I don't remember.
I don't think I did.
You don't think you did?
No.
That's got to be a crazy balancing act.
That's a lot to do that schedule with children. Yeah, I was one of, in my time there, I think I was one of 3 people in the cast or writing staff that had a family.
I think you are defying a lot of odds.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean?
All right.
Like your wife with her family is in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
You're doing a show in New York.
Sure.
You know, that type of stuff ruins relationships. Really.
Oh dear. Okay. Yeah. Oh God.
But the plus side is you guys are still together. And
Yeah.
you have more kids.
Is that a plus side though? Now I'm realizing because you're saying I had an out.
I guess so. I mean, you had a
That it was expected.
You could have allowed it
was
to
expected
ruin.
of me to find an out.
Yeah.
I defied odds by digging in my heels
Yeah.
and just settling.
And now you're trapped.
Oh, boy.
And you're stuck in the same.
But at the same time you were doing Hamilton, Kobe was doing a play with Kevin Kline.
No Coward play, Present Laughter.
And I was talking to you just briefly before we turned on the mics about it, and you said it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was great.
She always wanted to do theater. And
Exactly. When we moved to New York, because we were there for 3 years, that was sort of a goal she set for herself, and she made it happen. She was wonderful.
How was Kevin Kline? I guess you got
Great. Very.
I love Kevin Kline.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Why? I wish I was seeing him in every movie and TV show all the time.
I know.
So
I feel like I've
good.
rarely-
I just
Beauty
love,
and the Beast was the last big one, right? He's the dad in that. You may have
Have not
skipped
seen
out
it.
on, yeah.
Don't
Because
have
there's
any
music
kids.
in it, and it
Haven't
makes
seen.
you
Hate
feel.
music. Don't get music in my ears. Don't want to hear it.
anti-music,
Yeah.
as we all know. I love him. But I do love him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he was great and all about really the work and the craft of it, and was so funny and great. It was cool to see.
Do you want to do more theater?
Yeah.
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 More music, or it doesn't matter?
I would do either. Yeah. As I said, my kids are, I have like 10 solid years left of being a father. And then,
Is that how that works?
and then, I mean, in 10 years, my firstborn will certainly be moving out of the house, and
Hopefully.
Get out.
then the second one, will be right behind her, sort of, be a teenager as well. So
18th birthday, carton of smokes. Get out of here.
yeah, 18 in life, you got it. That's about prison though, right?
Yeah,
Probably.
probably.
I never bothered to
18 in
wonder what Skid Row was singing about.
I just remember the dad, like him getting in a fight with his dad, and he gets pushed out of the front door or something. Right?
Ricky was a young boy.
Yeah.
He had a heart of.
He had a heart of stone.
Yeah, I didn't even remember if it was stone or gold right now that he had a heart
I
of.
thought it was
I
gold.
don't-
Could have been
Is it
either.
gold?
I don't know.
But if he's
Maybe
going
it
to
could be
jail,
stone. It could be stone.
maybe it's gold. Maybe it's more
started
tragic
out with
if
a heart
it's
of gold, and then
yeah,
it
it's the beginning of
goes
the song.
awry.
Now, I don't know, guys. Should we write about Skid Row and do like maybe a stage production of Skid Row.
A jukebox musical of Skid Row music.
The music's
Yeah, why
there.
hasn't this happened yet?
Is Talk Dirty to Me, is that them or is that Poison?
No, that's Poison.
Poison.
What else? I think they have a song called No.
Girls,
Skid
Girls,
Row.
Girls. Who's that?
Motley Crue.
Motley Crue. Great.
This is my
But now
Ages.
it's turning. Yeah, exactly.
Skid Row. They had was the big ballad.
Can you
of
take me
theirs.
high enough?
No, that's
Can you take
I
Def
got
Leppard?
it. No, that's Nugent is in that band. It's like a super group. Damn Yankees.
Damn Yankees. Yes.
Damn Yankees.
How about Slaughter? You remember Slaughter?
Yesterday.
They had one album.
No,
Guy,
I
that
remember
guy
Sergeant
had
Slaughter.
that guy had a cartoonishly high voice. Like
Yeah.
throughout the '80s, just the pitch of the lead singer kept going up until
In Slaughter?
only dogs. Well, like every popular band, the way to top the
Queensryche.
last band. But
Queensryche?
Sebastian Bach was what? Skid Row?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
He's a
he was
musical theater guy.
musical theater guy.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
Something's coming to Paul.
I
Something's
remember
happening.
you. I'm trying to think of their
no.
big ballad.
I remember you.
Yeah, that
I think
one.
that's it.
Remember yesterday.
Remember Yesterday. That's the title.
Were there
Yeah.
were there sketches on SNL that you guys really wanted to do that you remember that didn't get put up, and you still to this day go that still would have been a good sketch?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, didn't get put up. That's most of my sketches.
Yes.
But are there ones that they get put up that you're like, yeah, that should have been, or the other ones you're like, no, I get it.
I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like there were ones that I put up that like, oh, the audience was going crazy for this, and then yet it didn't get put on. Like, I feel like the ones that got on were like, they went well for the audience. So
Okay.
There's a fun one.
there was some.
It was the only time I saw, or not the only time, but definitely the first time I saw Keenan and Bill break
Oh, yeah.
in your Robot Son, in your Junkie Robot Son sketch.
Oh, yeah.
It was Jason
Yes.
Segel hosting, and Jason Segel is like a desperate mad scientist inventor.
Yes.
Who brought over his impressive inventor buddies to see his new creation,
New robot.
a Junkie
They made.
Robot Son.
Yes.
There's Paul.
That's one that may have eaten the most shit of anything
What's the
that I wrote
premise
that got put up at dress
Are
rehearsal.
you a junk? You're like a
No.
drunk
So
addict?
it's essentially it's like Small Wonder. So
Okay,
it's like
okay.
it's like a dad has built a robot
Right.
that he's now gonna pass off as his kid, and Jason Segel is the dad.
Right.
And he's super psyched, and then he turns me on, and I come to life, and I just fucking suck at everything. Just blow it.
Just
breaking
disappointed.
things.
Just
and
like
bringing-
immediately get mouse traps caught on both my hands. I just stink.
which is still funny to me. It still makes me laugh. And then I come in as
So it's like he's like, I gotta show. He's like, he's gonna show off his new robot to his other scientist buddies who make robots, and he's real excited about it until he turns me on and I fucking suck, and now he's like, oh no, they're gonna make fun of me. So in they come, and I'm terrible, and one of their robot sons is Taran, who's an awesome robot.
yes.
Who's great at everything. Who plays the violin and stuff like that.
Yeah, superb. But one of my lines was, I've finished converting your car to running on to running on water. Right? I've finished. No. So that it runs on water. That's what it was
Okay.
supposed to be.
And
it was
then,
supposed to be.
that's a sentence that makes sense.
I've finished converting your car so that it runs on water is because I'm so impressive.
Right.
Yeah.
And cue cards, they showed it to me afterwards while he apologized. They'd written, I'm supposed to be perfect. The whole premise of my character is I'm flawless.
He's great, yeah.
And it says, I've finished converting your car to that it runs on water. And I catch it in the cards and I go, Father, I have finished converting your car to the power of running on water. And Bill is playing my dad. Well, it cuts to Keenan first. And Keenan just, it doesn't hide at all that didn't go well. And he just goes, and starts laughing. And then it cuts back to Bill, who's losing his mind too. And
Also,
I'm like holding.
The sketch is not going great up to that point. Like, there's silence where there should be laughs up to that point already. And then we get to that thing, and like, Keenan is the biggest pro ever. Like, he's been, doing it for a decade, and he's just, no one is more automatic than Keenan. You never see him break until this thing.
He just came out, he just like.
Because he watched Taran's
new guy.
Taran's like roundabout trying to get the line to make sense. And Keenan's just watching it and realizing the sentence that Taran is saying is crazy. And he can't hold it in. He's so caught off guard. And so Keenan breaks, and then Bill breaks. And I think that in the remaining amount of the sketch, I think I need to like bust a fluorescent light tube over Taran's head, and and I need to clunkily like walk off set. But so the audience is just baffled.
So this wasn't live though, right? This was a rehearsal.
It was live. It was for the dress audience.
Not live on TV. No. But live in front of an audience. Yeah.
So the live dress didn't get much response.
No.
No, except from Keenan and Bill.
Yeah.
That's
it was
hilarious.
an amazing mess. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Were there more? Were there ever sketches that did great in front of an audience for dress and didn't make it to air for, I don't know.
I mean, that's what I was saying. Like, rarely does that happen. Generally, like, if it goes great, then you want it. You want it on the. I mean, it's usually the case that like, X number of sketches go great, and like a small number like go real bad, and then a lot are right in the middle there.
Right.
And then it's a matter of sorting those out.
Because you can't tell what's going to be consistently good, right? It might work in dress and then not work live, right? Or vice versa, even.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then it might be a time issue, right? Because they have to fit the sketches in between the commercials. And
if there was a sketch that went well that didn't make it, it normally didn't make it because of time. That it was like, put in, it did well, and there's 3 sketches at the end, and only one of them is going to make it. But we'll put them on the board should the show happen to be running under, which never happens.
Right. Yeah. Well, that'd be amazing if there's scrambling at the end, like, we need to throw in another sketch.
I wonder if that's ever happened.
Did we throw that set in the garbage yet? Can we construct it?
But wouldn't they just show like a video?
Yeah, I mean, if there's like a minute left, they've got like a piece of video or something like that.
But those commercials.
I can remember like a few times where they're actually like, if we cut out 45 seconds of this sketch, like we could fit it in, and they're like cutting lines, and sometimes like the actors they just need to know, like, just read the cue cards. Lines will be cut out. You don't know what lines are cut out.
Yes.
Just we had to cut a chunk out for time. And witnessing that's kind of crazy.
Have you guys ever thought of writing together? You two?
I mean, we did at the show. We haven't talked about it off the show, but I just got back into town, and I'd without a doubt be open to it.
Even like
anything, live show, anything.
You do you do the
greeting
cards, Robot
greeting
Son,
card, right?
For the
just
internet.
notes to each other.
But you could perfect Robot Son or whatever.
Yeah, Robot Son could be dope.
Kid Dynamite.
Kid
Dynamite.
Are you still doing your podcast?
I'm gonna pick up, start recording more of them right soon in the next coming weeks.
Mr. Right?
Yeah, Mr. Right. Yeah.
Cool. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Have you done his podcast?
I haven't done that one.
Okay.
Got to do it sometime soon.
Please.
Yes.
He's done my podcast twice now.
I know.
Well, I know you've made so many more episodes. Like I said, he's been out of town. I'm just within this month gonna start recording new ones. So
I looked on your IMDb, Taran. You have a movie coming out. I don't know if you worked on it yet with Kevin Hart.
I just wrapped on Friday. Yeah, it's called Night School. It's gonna be very funny. Thank you.
Got Tiffany Haddish in it.
Haddish, yeah.
Haddish. I'm sorry, but I love her.
Yeah,
She's great.
clearly.
I do. I love her.
Yeah.
She's gonna host Saturday Night Live.
This week, yeah.
Oh, wow.
She's today is writing day. Yeah, they're writing for her right now. She's lovely. She is. I don't know if you know her story but she is just one of the most impressive human beings of
I
all
don't
time.
know her story. I just know I saw her in a couple of talk shows, and I was like, she's
So
hilarious.
charming, so beautiful, wonderful human being, incredible spirit, incredibly funny. And has really earned her spot, man.
Do you do that sometimes? Do you go like, oh, it's Tuesday. They're rehearsing something right now. Do you think like that sometimes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was out doing press for Gunther and did Seth on a Wednesday, and I knew that they would be finishing the table read. So I texted Kyle and went out to dinner. I got to meet with him and a writer, Fran, downstairs at a bar.
Gillespie.
They were sort of very funny, and got to like hang with them at the bar, and it was a pretty great feeling watching them
Because you're
replaying.
you're
I'm
bright-eyed,
free,
bushy-tailed,
scot-free,
and they're
no dog in the race,
and they're having a beer running on 0 hours sleep roughly.
Yeah,
and 38 hours.
And just like I thought, the second one played okay. And I just get to observe it. It was literally like a Christmas Carol of observing a previous life. With none of the grief of actually going through it.
Just like by Wednesday night, you're just dead and exhausted, and you've stayed up all night. So just picturing them like brain no longer functioning well Wednesday night at 9 p.m. But
do you guys still watch the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do a bit. I mean, especially like you can just check out sketches online.
Right. Yeah.
So I'll often do that and stuff.
Have you gone to a taping?
No.
Paul, no.
No, I've barely been in New York. I feel like since I left there.
If they asked you back to do either host or do a bit or something like that, like they've asked like Sam Berke's come back for like a bit or Kristen Wiig or something like that, would you guys do that?
I don't know. Depends on what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's for Kid Dynamite.
For Kid Dynamite. If they wanted a 10-year anniversary of Kid Dynamite, I would absolutely be there.
The most poorly received sketch ever at dress rehearsal.
Was it the first year you did that?
That was the second year I was there.
Yeah,
I think so.
Definitely was not the most poorly received sketch.
There's lots of stories of sketches like that, and that was one of the more fun, one of the like craziest things about working there was like the computer database of every sketch that's ever been on TV or on dress rehearsal.
Yes.
Like you can search for it and you can watch it on a computer in your office. So you can watch
on a computer.
Yeah. So you can watch some sketch from 1994 that got cut after dress rehearsal.
I would just be binging that problem.
Right. Yeah. You do a lot of that.
Most start that way for sure. I feel like Seth and Amy were very kind and smart to show us. I feel like it's something they did intentionally, and then I certainly passed it on, showing Farrell's epic bomb where he plays what's the actor's name?
Gabe Kaplan. He's
Kaplan.
Mr. Cotter.
Yeah, he plays. It is at an insurance firm or like a tax firm, and they're in like the coffee break room, and they're just like, "Man, that was great. He was so nice. Yeah. I know. Can you believe it? Hey, sometimes working at this job ain't that bad."
Yeah.
And Farrell comes in. He looks exactly like Gabe Kaplan. He's dressed same haircut, mustache, outfit.
He's Mr. Cotter, but I mean, it's like 1998 or whatever.
Right.
And
he's like dressed like 1975.
Correct. And he's like, "Hey guys, what you talking about?" And they're like, "Oh, nothing. Don't worry about it." And he's like, "What? What's going on?" And they're like, "Mark, it's what? We're just talking. What is it?" And he finds out that they had just done Gabe Kaplan's taxes, and they didn't tell him about it. And the only reason he accepted this job and wanted to work at this firm is because he's the biggest Gabe Kaplan fan in the world. And he's changed his whole life to look and be and act like Gabe Kaplan, and they didn't let him know, and he's pissed, and it plays to silence.
Yeah. And it's
the whole
funniest,
time.
Yeah, it's the funniest
so
thing
funny.
watching it, but also
because
like
it's Will Ferrell. It's
and no one's going for it. It's not funny because it's bombing. It's legitimately insanely hilarious sketch.
Yes.
And like Molly Shannon's in it, and I think Horatio.
Yeah.
But
it's so good.
The audience is not on board. But they don't bail on it for a second.
No.
They don't. They don't like.
No,
No one
certainly
even
not
breaks.
feral.
Like
No.
they just keep. It's just this guy's dream is crushed.
Yes. Yeah.
And they didn't. He had the chance to meet his hero, and he was 10 feet away, and they didn't bother to go tell him.
Dave Campbell. That is so funny.
Yeah.
That is so funny. Well, I know Seth does, or at least he says he wants to do sketches, Second Chance Theater.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe Mr.
Yeah,
Kid Dynamite?
I'm not expecting. I don't think that's gonna happen. But I've seen some of those on his show, and they're really funny. Like there was like a Forte sketch.
The Benjamin Franklin. He is a woman. He's birthed as a woman who looks exactly like Benjamin Franklin.
Fantastic.
Taran, you, The Illegitimates, you wrote a comic
Yes, sir.
book.
Yeah.
What's going on with Illegitimates? Is that going forward to TV, film, more comics, anything like that?
Currently, sort of like being negotiated a little bit. So we're waiting to hear, but it's been long, so I don't know how much steam is left in that. But what I want for it more than anything is just to write more of them. And now that I'm free and have time, I would.
Illegitimates or other comics?
Illegitimates. I'd love to continue the series.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Hope you do.
Thanks,
And
man.
maybe Paul will read a comic.
Yes, I will read a comic.
Maybe he'll be supportive of his friend.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Maybe he'll see
do
a
that.
musical about comics.
Yes, I'll do it.
Spider-Man
I think
musical.
I have actually
Yeah,
read a
that'll turn you
comic
off.
book, but maybe just like one time ever.
One comic book? What was
Yeah.
it? What was this plot?
Put me on the spot. No, I don't even know.
I'll leave you alone. Do you want to badmouth Trump before we stop or anything? Anybody want to say some bullshit about Trump? I'm happy to hear you out. I'm jump on board.
Yeah,
Yeah, fuck
he's
Trump.
the
He's
worst. The
garbage.
worst. It's
The
draining. I've often spent too much time and energy
Me too.
just being insanely bummed out. So you got to alternate days of just not
How are you
not
coping?
paying attention.
How are you coping?
Poorly.
Just
I don't know.
compartmentalizing?
Yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, occasional online rants, and
Yeah,
then
I
just
do that.
gotta put it away for a period of time, and just not watch the train wreck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Karen?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, good. You want to plug anything before we go? Killing Gunther on iTunes, of
Yeah.
course.
Yes,
That's it.
yeah.
Is it on
Amazon too.
theaters?
Amazon. I think it's out of theaters now. We
theaters,
did 2 weeks select cities, and now we're video on demand. Yeah.
demand.
Cool. So
Yeah.
go check that out.
Yeah.
It's worth your time. You're 90
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah,
good,
man.
Good laughter. Mm-hmm. Fun time. Twitters. You want to plug your Twitters, Instagrams, anything like that?
I have a Twitter account. It's my name.
Taran
Yeah, Paul Brittain 3. Still in negotiations with the Joker, who's never tweeted and he's squatting on Paul Brittain.
Oh,
If
man.
you're listening right now,
I'll get you.
Fucker.
But 1 and 2 are also closed?
yeah, those two. Yeah.
Well, Kid Dynamite. Yeah.
But you're going right. You're going direct to the source. You're cutting jumping.
Yeah, maybe I should just bump up one at a time. Move up to 2. Move up to 3. Yeah.
We'll go follow them on social media. Thank you guys so much for being
Thank you.
here.
Thanks, EJ. Yeah.
thank you
Always
enough.
a pleasure.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time for Kid Dynamite the movie. And scene. There you go, folks. That was my talk with Taran Killam and Paul Brittain. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on again. It was so good talking with you guys. Always a pleasure. And go once again check them out on social media and check out Killing Gunther on iTunes or wherever you can. I'm sure it's digitally. It's all over the place. You could probably even get a DVD of it if you were doing that. So there you go. And go check out Running Blind documentary on iTunes, Google Play, or Amazon. Digital copies, only $2 or $3. Find me on Twitter at EJ Scott, at EJ Podcast, Instagram, EJ Scott 1106, and Scratch the Surface Podcast. EJScott.com is my website. And that is pretty much it. Subscribe to Scratch the Surface on iTunes and iHeartRadio. I'm starting to get back into it, so I'm going to be booking some great guests, and you won't want to miss it. Go check out some of my past guests if you've missed any. I interviewed both Paul and Taran before, so go check those out. Those are really good talks. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time.